Hey guys, welcome to the second episode of the series about our 1994 Jeep YJ that we recently purchased. And in this episode, we're gonna continue fighting with it to make it start. So what we have done in the previous episode was that we figured out that the fuel pump is not running and we started chasing the issue. So we cut a service opening in the trunk to access the pump without dropping the gas tank. We figured that probably it had a bad ground, but even though we jumped the ground straight from the battery, the pump still didn't work. And then finally we jumped the power from the relay to the pump directly, but it still wasn't running. So we know now that we have a bad pump. So in this episode we're gonna go from there and we will see if we're gonna be able to find our issue and start the car. Alright, so I cut this piece out from here. I cut it on an angle here because I didn't want to disturb the wires. I still can't get to the connector though, so I think I'm gonna just cut the wires here and install spades connectors later. I also had to cut a little strip from here so I can access these two screws. So now I'm gonna blow it with my air gun to make sure no debris go into the gas tank once it's open, and let's pray that the bolts come off loose with no problems. Yeah, let's see if the bolts are gonna go off, and then we're gonna loosen these clamps. Yeah, some of the bolts have rounded heads already, so good. So far so good. Okay, wasn't that bad. The wires, like I said, I'm gonna cut them, and then we're gonna do whatever we need to do. Okay. One is out. The gasket looks perfect, so we are fine. Just so nothing falls in. Let's move the show inside. Okay, in the first place, let's reconfirm that our pump is the problem. So we're gonna power up this one and see if it works when we jump it with my booster pack here. So this is our ground here. We're gonna disconnect it. And our power is the orange one. The blue one is the sender. So the orange one, just to confirm, it goes to the orange one outside, and the blue one goes to the beige or whatever color that is. Orange. So ground and power. Yeah. Just made a noise, made and stopped. So here's our problem, and it looks like it's a new pump, like newish. I mean, let's see what we have here. So here we have the soak. Where does that go? We have clamps and we have a hose, and this, I guess, goes, I don't know, maybe underneath. Yeah, that's where this one goes. we might go with the old ones. Okay, this little green. It's not going anywhere, right? So here we have red and black instead of orange and black, so that's fine. Just to confirm the polarity, yes, same way. This bracket comes here. Where's that? No idea where that goes. Just gonna ignore it. Okay. Good. Now let's test this one, huh? Wouldn't be fair if we didn't test this one. Hey, makes all the right noises. Now, while we're still here, let's check also the sender unit. So how the sender unit works normally, and I guess this is the case here too, is by changing the resistance. So we're gonna go to ohms. Okay. Now we have open loop here. I don't know if you see. And we're gonna touch one end to the blue wire here, and the other end to ground. Let's stick the ground first. And we still have open loop. And here nothing changes. Which means we might have a bad sending unit too. And it's a shame because now would be the time to change it. But let's see again. I'm sure this is the correct ground. So this is the ground for the sending unit. And this is the other side of the sending unit here. Because these are jumper wires, we're gonna have to do the same here now. Okay, now I have zero resistance. I don't know if you see here. I'll put it here so you can see. We have short and resistance changes 5, 600, 700, 800 and short. Okay, so it works. That's good. So now we're gonna hook up this ground here where it was. We're gonna hook up, just don't want to mess up the float, so we're gonna try to twist the wires around like this, and this goes here. So now nothing is on the way of the float. The blue is there, and the red goes to orange. Gave me 3 kilometers of wire is done. So now the only thing is I'm gonna wire brush all these, and for the ground now, because this snapped, so now for the ground I'm gonna ground it to one of the screws. Not gonna go further than that. So let's do our spade connectors here before we put it back. Here we're gonna put one male and one female, so we can make it a little bit safer for future mechanics, even though I'm hoping that I'm gonna be the only mechanic dealing with this car, but you never know. So one male and one female, and the opposite on the other side of the wires, and this way they will never be able to mix them up. Okay, that's all. So we are done here. Let's install it. I'm gonna take these pumps, I'm gonna use these inside on the other hoses because I trust these better. So let's go there. Okay, let's put the pump first so we don't drop anything inside. That's how it went, right? Let's do the wiring now. So orange, we put male on this side, so now we're gonna put female. Come up. And here we're gonna put the male. Okay, we're not gonna hook up the ground yet because I don't know, the ignition is not on, but might start speeding on us. So first we're gonna hook up the hoses. Masking tape was on this side. Okay. Now let's hook up the ground. I over squeezed it, but that's fine. A little bit of dielectrical grease here. I'll go turn the ignition on and you stay here and listen. Okay, I brought you really close so you can hear. And yes, I found the keys. They were in the key cabinet. Would you expect that? You hear anything? I don't hear anything, guys. Okay, that's not good. So this one is dead. Here we have ground now, which is good. So we have ground all over the place. So if we put power here, yes, our pump works. Good. Okay. I'm gonna go turn the ignition on, and if there's power, it's gonna give me signal. No. No power at all. Okay, let's go see the relay. Why the relay is not giving us power. You know what, guys, before we do that, before we start playing with the wires, I think we should take this part inside because it's becoming very windy outside. In the meantime, it's very hot and humid and I can't really stand it. So I think we should move it inside. The thing is, this is where the car is and this is where we need to go. In this door, that's the garage. I don't have anybody else here to help me push it in, so I think we're gonna use my truck to drag it over there without a driver. I was hoping to drive it in, but unfortunately that's not gonna work. So yeah, I guess I can jump the pump and try to start it, but let's not do stupid things yet. All right, that's better. That's better inside. And let's close my other beauty that also needs some repair. This one has problems with the clutch, so that's gonna be next. But first we're gonna see if we can start this one. So let's see what's happening with this relay. We know that when we jump this relay here, there's power to the wire at the pump, but let's see if this relay gets any power here, because how a relay works. So that's how it was, how we took it out. So basically, what is a relay? Relay is an electrical switch, which means when you power it up, it closes a loop. And this loop is between these two pins, this one and this one. It's normally open, but when you power up this pin and this pin, there's an electromagnet inside that pulls the switch, and the switch basically bridges this pin and this pin. When we remove the power or the ground on the other side, this pin and this pin are gonna be open. So let's see what's happening here. So we need power and ground, or ground and power here, to be able to jump from here to here. So let's see what readings we have here. So we have power here. Even without ignition, we have power here. So we need this power to transfer to here. Okay, so here we have ground, looks like. No, it was for a while. We have 9 volts. Okay, and we have 7 volts on this side. Why? What do we have here? We have 12.6. Here we have 8 volts. And here we have 9 volts. That's weird. Anyways, let's turn the ignition on. Okay. Now it's on. Is it? Yeah, the radio is on. Okay, so now the ignition is on. Let's see what readings we have now. So we have power. Oh, power again. That's weird. So we have power both sides. So obviously one of these two sides need to be ground in order for the relay to click. Let's test the relay quickly. So if we put ground here, yeah, let me turn this off. so the relay clicks. Problem is we don't have ground here, we have power on both sides. Is that normal? We don't know. Let's read a little bit. Okay, I found a wiring diagram. This is for 1990 YJ, but I think it should be the same. I don't know, this is 94, but that's what I could find. And this is the fuel pump relay here. So you see 85 and 86, I don't know if you can see very well here. 85 and 86 are the electromagnet on the relay, so the trigger we should call it, and 30 and 87 are the switched parts. So when we connect 30 to 87, the fuel pump should work, because if you see, 30 is connected here to the positive of the battery through a fuse, of course. So that's always live, 30, and 87 powers up the EGR evap solenoid, the fuel injectors, the pump, and other things along this line. So the fuel pump is grounded on the other side, of course. So we need to close 30 and 87 to power up the pump. To close them, we need to put power and ground on both sides of this 85 and 86, I think, yeah. And now if you follow the line of 85, goes here, 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 and into the ECU where it says FP relay, which means fuel pump relay. And the other side, if we look up here, goes to the ignition switch. So when we turn the ignition on, we power up 86, and I'm guessing 85 is where the ECM sends ground. You know what I mean? So now we have to find out why this 85 doesn't send ground. I read somewhere, I can't find it now, but I read somewhere that also the ECU would connect the relay to ground when the throttle body is in the maximum position, when the throttle is fully open, or while cranking it. So you know what, let's see now if maybe for whatever reason the ECU doesn't sense the pressure of the fuel, that's why it doesn't connect the pump to ground. But if we crank it, maybe then we're gonna get ground, or if we press the throttle all the way. Let's see. Okay, so 85 on this relay is this one. So when it goes this way, this means that here we should sense ground. Okay, so we have a red light and this signal when we sense power, like here, and this signal when we sense ground. So I'm gonna go and crank it and we will see if this is gonna change to ground. Except it doesn't want to crank, and this is something that bugs me. So now it has ground, but the ignition is not on. Okay, let's see. I think here, you see, this is, I have to clean this, but let me try something else. Let me jump it. I think this connection there, this ground there is not good. So we're gonna just jump it from here. Okay. You see? Now we have ground. Maybe that was the problem. Let's see now. it doesn't change, right? Even when it cranks, it doesn't change. Maybe it's this one. Now I connected the wire at the back that we disconnected, so I'm just gonna jump it here and see if the pump is gonna work. Yeah, I can hear it. I could hear the fuel coming. So now there must be pressure. I don't know if you can see there. If I can spray myself. Oops. Yep. Now there's pressure. So I'm gonna pump a little bit and let's see if it is gonna start at least for a second. Nope. I'm gonna jump it and try to start it with jump. Okay, so it looks like this is not the only problem, but definitely that was a problem, right? I'm gonna pull this wire and I'm gonna test, see if there is spark. All right, looks like we have no spark. Okay, I'm new to Jeeps, but I just watched somebody who isn't on YouTube, and they say that when you turn the ignition on, the check engine light should come on for a second here, and they demonstrated it and it happens on their Jeep. On mine it doesn't, which means that the computer is not communicating, so that's why it's not sending round to the fuel pump relay. There's no spark and things like that. So anyways, we either have a bad computer or hopefully it's only a bad connection somewhere. So let's hunt this. So this is where the ECU lives. This is the ECU here at the back, and this is the main harness. And I don't know, maybe it's just corroded. You think so, or no? Anyway, to get to that, we have to remove the overflow reservoir for the coolant and the reservoir for the washer fluids. Right, I took the coolant reservoir out, but I've been struggling here for the last half an hour probably with this screw here, which holds the bracket around this reservoir, and I can't really take it out and I'm getting frustrated and I'm running out of time. I need to be somewhere shortly, so I guess I'm gonna just tuck in the Jeep right now, maybe into that spot, and we're gonna leave it for now. But at least we're making some progress. We fixed one thing and we found another problem, so yeah, we're gonna go from there. I guess that's gonna be another video. I'm gonna probably wrap this up here and we're gonna get back to this in another episode, because this video is already way too long. At least we figured out the fuel pump. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for commenting and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.